Hello friends, my name is Miss Amber. I'm a children's librarian, the Warren-Trumbull County Public Library System, and I work at the Cortland Library. I have another fun activity for us to try today, so let's jump into a new boredom buster. Alright, so I have here a basket full of leaves. So today we're going to be taking a look at our fall leaves. You may have noticed outside that the leaves are changing colors and they're beginning to fall. But have you ever wondered why leaves changed colors? We're going to talk about that today, and we're going to do it through doing a science experiment. So what we're going to need is a basket full of leaves. I got all these leaves from our parking lot, so go out in the yard. Maybe you're taking a hike today or going on a nature walk. Take a baggie with you and collect some good leaves. A variety of colors will be best. So some greens, I've got reds, yellows, and browns. So have fun picking up some leaves and some nature outside. You're going to need jars. I have here some glass jars. See-through jars are probably best for this. This is a little big. If you have any smaller jars, salsa jars are pretty good. Baby food jars are great. It all just depends on how much of a mixture you would like to make. So what are we going to mix our leaves with? We're going to mix our leaves with rubbing alcohol. So you're going to need grown-ups' helps to work with this, but it is available, again, that's from the dollar store. If you don't have any lying around, you can find some there. You're going to want something to mash up your leaves. So I don't have anything at the library to do like a blender, like I don't have a craft blender. Maybe you do at home for paper mache or mixing paints. And I don't have any good spoons either, or couldn't find any big sticks. So I took a spool and I hot glued it onto a pencil. So anything kind of with like a circular end that you can mash stuff up with will work fine. And then you're going to need coffee filters. So once you have all of those supplies, we can get started on our experiment for today. So what we're going to do first is we're going to sort our leaves. So we're going to take our basket of leaves and we're going to pull all of our green leaves and put them in a pile, all of our red leaves and put them in a pile. Our yellow leaves, we're going to sort all of those out. And so we're going to pause while I do that. And then we'll transition into a jar filled with leaves. All right. Alrighty, I am putting my green leaves in the jar here. So I'm going to take a piece of my green leaf and I'm going to rip it up into little pieces. If you have a craft blender at home, or if you're going to be using some kind of chopper for this, you just chop it up, or if you're using the blender, you put all your leaves in and then you're going to add your rubbing alcohol. But since we're doing it by hand here with me, this is me ripping up my leaves. We're going to fill it up, not full because you don't want, well, I don't have that much rubbing alcohol here with me to make such a big mixture, but the results of your experiment will change based on how many leaves you use, or how much rubbing alcohol you use, and how much you mix them together. So if you have a lot of jars and you want to try a lot of different things, feel free to fill up your jars in different amounts with your leaves, with different amounts of rubbing alcohol. So I'm going to try with just this many leaves in my jar. They're all ripped up. Maybe I'll do one more. And then I'm going to add some rubbing alcohol and begin to smash them together. If you have a blender, this will go by really fast. If you do not, it will take probably about 5 minutes. Maybe not that many. It just depends on your leaves. So we'll put all of those extras back in the basket and we will get smashing here. So we're going to take our rubbing alcohol, pour a little bit in. You don't really need a specific amount, just enough to kind of cover the bottom. If you're mixing by hand, less is better at first. You can always add more in, because when you begin to mash, it can splash up onto you, and you don't want that. This is an activity best done in a large space. If you have windows, I would open your windows, or if you have a patio, I would try and do it outside, because using a lot of rubbing alcohol, it's pretty smelly. There's a lot of fumes, and we want everybody to stay safe. That's why I request that you work with a grown-up in these activities. So we're just gonna mix these up, and then I will show you what to do with your coffee filters. So we're gonna mix green. I'm gonna let it sit for a minute, and I already have these ones done over here. So you're gonna take your coffee filter and you're gonna fold it in half. Then you're gonna fold it in half again into a cone shape, and you're gonna put that cone shape in your liquid like this. So you're going to take it, and you're just, oh look, you can already see the color sticking on this one. And you just want to dip it in so it's just in the rubbing alcohol. So as you can see, whenever you smash, ooh, there's lots of noise there. When you begin to mix your leaves, you begin to see that the rubbing alcohol is changing color. See, it's changing that green. If you are using a blender or a chopper or something like that, you will see it be very vibrant. So if you're doing it by hand, the leaves are going to have to soak a little while to get such a vibrant color. But almost immediately from the time you put the coffee filter into the jar, you'll begin to see the color begin to pull up the coffee filter. So I'm going to finish up green here and set it aside, and I will be right back to talk about some of our results that you're going to see. Alrighty friends, we have our jars with our greens, our reds, and our yellows, and we're going to let those sit for overnight, and you will begin to see something cool happen on your coffee filter. Now, I didn't want to wait until tomorrow to film this, so I made sure I set up some jars last night so that we could go over my results that I got, and we can answer that question as to why do leaves change colors? So this is from my bright green jar of leaves. Does it look very bright green? This is green. I don't know if you can tell, but in person it's very green. But look at all this yellow and brown that came from there. There's some red and orange in there too if you look at it in the light. How did I get all of that from just a bunch of green leaves? That's because the yellows, the oranges, and reds are in the leaves year round, but a chemical called chlorophyll, which is what makes plants green, is predominant. It's the most. So we mostly just see green year round, but whenever the sun stops shining as much in the fall, and it starts to get dark earlier and it's not as warm and just not as sunny, it lets plants know, and it lets the trees know that winter is coming and it needs to save its energy through the winter. So the plants stop producing that chlorophyll. So that is why our leaves change colors, and that is why in this experiment you will see multiple colors be pulled up your coffee filters. You will see some yellows and oranges and reds, hopefully. Remember, it just depends on the kind of leaves you use, the amount of alcohol you use, and how well you mix them up. But I hope that you enjoyed this experiment today and this boredom buster with me, and I hope to see you at the library soon so that I can get you set up with some more information about fall and leaves. Alrighty, have a good day. Bye everyone.